Welcome to Cuckoo for Who, a Doctor Who podcast. Season 10, Episode 7, The Pyramid at the End of the World.
When an ancient pyramid appears overnight, the world's clocks begin to count down towards its destruction, and opposing armies prepare to battle.
I'm your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Rob Southgate.
Okay, what
This
you guys...
episode was crazy.
I thought it was funny. Like, it had
hilarious.
a lot of really funny,
Yeah.
but then I wanted to cry my freaking head off when I realized that we're about to lose Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we're getting
we are
close.
way too close to losing Peter Capaldi.
We're getting close.
I was also freaking out when Nardole was coughing. In
Oh
the
my
TARDIS.
gosh.
And I was like, no. And then when
He's-
Bill was going to do that, I was like, they're all going to die.
Well,
Well, they're not going to kill him
he's
all
gonna
yet, but
he can
Nardole could be
save
killed.
he can save him. He
did.
gave him those parts. Like he said, I used secondhand lungs, so or whatever.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
But at the same time,
or human lungs, so they're
when that
weakened.
infection took in, it turned him into goo. We don't know that by the time the doctor gets in there that he's not going to be turned to goo.
Come on now.
He was not goo. The other guy...
He wasn't
he
dead
was-
yet.
The one guy was like coughing, and then goo.
Right.
This Nardole was like coughing, and we saw him on the floor, like the goo guy, but he
Okay.
didn't turn to goo. I think his alien parts are
He's
preventing
only
it.
a couple feet away from him.
Right.
Now that Peter's in that room,
I'm surprised the TARDIS doesn't have a filtration system that would have cured that. It seems to me
it may.
that it
But
would have
from
stopped
him.
it.
But if it was already
Specifically-
in him,
Yeah.
he can't. But it can prevent it from hurting anybody else. Probably if it's
Yeah.
a filtration system.
Well,
if
also,
he's coughing
it's
it
the
out.
magic
Okay.
TARDIS.
Sure.
But he can go in and he can bring him back because he knows he can replace his parts
Right.
as long as he isn't goo yet.
Yeah.
But he's close by. So, I mean, he may be able to
Yeah.
get to him. The
I
other
just think
guy
they
had
left
been
it
sick for a
hanging.
little while.
I think they left it hanging in a way that you saw him laying there and his leg was twitching and that. I'm like, they could take Nardole out here.
He was
Oh,
a,
that
he
would be
was a
so
gift from
sad.
River.
I know. I don't want him to.
They're not going to do that to us.
They would never take the gift from River away. Would they?
Okay. I don't know. I truly don't know.
Mm-mm.
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
So
Um,
this was a really tense episode.
Mhm.
Oh,
When you had the doomsday clock going, and then it got 1 minute away, and then it was a minute 40, or it was 20 seconds away at one
Mhm.
point. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved how this played out, where the military thought it was a military thing because they were on the brink of war, but that really had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It
What was
was
gonna
the
wipe it out?
creatures and
No,
the bacteria.
It was the bacteria,
Yeah.
not the creatures. They were just viewing time.
The creatures are just going, oh, I see an opportunity here.
Right. They said
Oh,
that,
we
They're
can
going to
help
need
you.
us. They
Yeah.
need us.
right.
And
they
we
said that
can
they
take
looked at
over.
all of human history
Mhm.
and figured out that if they appear at this moment, this is when humanity is most vulnerable and will say, we
Anything.
consent.
Yes.
Now, how bizarre is this consent thing?
Yeah, they're like, you have to consent with love. You consented with strategy. That's not enough. You consented out of fear. That's not enough.
Yeah.
But Bill consented with love, but not love for them.
No, you have to have
It do-
love in
I don't
your
think
heart.
it meant love for them.
She was saying like, I love the doctor so much. I just
Right.
She
I
was-
consent from that place.
from a place of love. It doesn't mean love for them.
But I just wonder why that matters.
Well, we're going to find out. Maybe they're hippies.
And how it turns
Maybe they're hippie aliens.
Hippie
into
monks.
love for them. Because it has to turn to love for them to rule the way they said they were going to rule. And
Yeah.
the doctor was right. He's like, this is when you make them consent out of love, it's slavery. You're going to enslave this race and make them love you in order to control them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty crazy, heady concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I kept thinking that the pyramid was going to be like in Despicable Me, and they're going to walk up and it would be like a balloon.
And
Or I thought it
deflate,
would be like a
Deflate.
hologram.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
did they just drop the whole... They mentioned it,
The
but
simulation.
did they solve the simulation? I didn't think they did.
Well, no,
I'm not convinced they're not still in one.
I'm not either.
they were doing the simulation thing originally because they were trying to they were trying to show how they've simulated every piece of human history and they're like time traveling, I think. At least that's what I believe, that the people were doing that. That's what I gathered
But
from it.
I don't understand. At the end of the last episode, they didn't resolve that. They just uncovered it.
Mhm.
But here,
Yeah.
they mentioned it, but does that mean they're still living in a simulation?
Could be.
And it could have been something at the beginning. Bill might have said something that explained that away, but I sure didn't catch it.
Well, I wonder
I
if
missed
if they'll take it on in the next episode.
Right.
Maybe they say, like, maybe they figure out that they're in a simulation or something.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the doctor knew, obviously, I don't know. And if they're in a simulation, then maybe this is a simulation that he's now taken control of, allowing them to get to this point. And then when he pulls the rug out from under it, which the doctor usually does, you'll find out Nardal's fine. Like, all of them will be fooled by it. And he's like, I had to bring us to this point. I had to give them this win in order to break the simulation. So maybe that's what we're leading to.
Oh, because
Because it is like a 3-parter.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the beginning of a 2-parter. So why was that first part there?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the third
They're
chapter,
not going
the
to
final
just
act,
ignore it. Yeah.
is the one that resolves what
Exactly.
happens in the first act.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
So even though we're kind of feeling like this was the important story, maybe this wasn't. Maybe this was, all this is set up for him to resolve the simulation.
And
in
like
the
the
third one.
first one was the most important. It was pivotal how they figured out about the simulation.
Right, when they figured
And
that
I
out, that might have been the
think
key moment.
This one might be setting up for his death, for why he regenerates.
Why?
I just think so.
Okay.
The blindness thing, the Bill having to choose him over the rest of the world, Nardal being compromised. There's a lot going on there that makes me think this is a foundation they're building. This is a setup for
we will be
what is going to come.
I'm
after
really
the.
bummed too, because I love Peter Capaldi.
I know.
Oh, I love
And-
him so
But
much.
I can't wait for the new Doctor.
But I think that first year, because it was like more Matt Smith scripts, I feel like we got cheated out of our Capaldi time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we may have gotten cheated out of our Matt Smith time, because if those stories were a story for Matt Smith and Clara, I mean, great, I loved them, but we are now fully immersed in the Peter Capaldi era. I wish we had had a good, solid 3 years of scripts for him.
Yeah.
I actually think that I heard it somewhere that the original scripts were actually written for Matt Smith to
Right.
do it. And then he left as the Doctor, and then they hired Peter Capaldi instead to do those.
Yeah.
But they only changed, like, I could tell they changed stuff, like, about the eyebrows and things.
Well, yeah, they added stuff, but those were really his stories. And
how he
Clara
talked and
also,
stuff.
Clara was supposed to leave, and then she signed back on, and then she decided to leave. And this is all in real life. And I think that affected things, too. Last season, Peter Capaldi season.
Oh, yeah.
This season, really Peter Capaldi season.
Mm.
This
I mean,
season is
This was
exceptional.
hilarious.
I
The
love him and Bill.
dialogue was so funny in this one.
Well, he's
I-
very distinct.
Oh
in
my
his own
gosh,
doctor here.
when and I loved Erica. Oh my gosh, if
She's
she could,
amazing.
can
Yeah.
she join this little trio and make them a quartet? Because
I know, I love it.
oh my gosh, her with Nardal and Bill.
Oh, the Doctor was so
I
cocky in
loved
this
her.
episode. He's like, oh yes, and now he's like, I'll do this, blow up the thing, save the world, and then you'll have a major crush on me.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. Well, and he said to her, he's like, I want you to come with me, or so.
Well,
What did he say remember that?
He said, what are you doing after?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's
I was
like-
like, oh, please take her with.
Well, and
Yeah,
I even
she
loved
was
like her
great.
interaction with that other guy. Like,
Yeah,
she
I was
is a
shipping them.
Great,
Yeah.
character.
Agreed.
Yeah. When he walked out and she said, "Oh, thank God," and he goes, "Oh no, it's just I'm the Doctor."
Yeah,
and,
right.
and he said it's
It's the eyebrows.
It's the-
We get confused.
Yeah, eyebrows.
Oh
And then she
my
went,
gosh.
what is that thing? Talking about the TARDIS, and Nardal was next to him and goes, oh yeah, this is Nardal.
Yeah,
It's
it's like,
just Nardal.
don't mind him.
Don't
yeah.
mind him.
And oh my God, and he's oh gosh, it was so funny. I mean, just all of his
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
a lot of funny moments, but like I said, this
But it was
really
tense.
tense.
yeah,
And when he couldn't see the dial, I'm like,
yeah.
what?
That was killing me.
I was like, is he going to regenerate here? I know he doesn't, but I was
Well,
still thinking
But
it.
we don't know, since we haven't seen it. With David Tennant, they did the thing where he had the false, I think it was David Tennant had the false regeneration.
Yeah.
Mm.
They could easily have him start at any point here where you're like, oh, this is it, and then it stops. We know there's a few episodes before he really does it, but he could become unstable. The fact that he went blind, like things like that, could be leading to
that's what I'm
instability.
saying. I really think that they're using this as a foundation.
He shouldn't be able to go blind. Like,
how come his Sonic couldn't work those tumblers?
The dials?
I think that
because he pointed right at it and he worked it, but it didn't do anything. And I thought that's
like he was pointing it at it.
I don't know that it could do that if it had to. If he has to, it could tell him maybe what the numbers were supposed to be, but he'd have to still manually put them in.
I have a weird theory.
Okay.
Is he still a Time Lord?
Yes.
Are you positive?
Why would you think he's not a Time Lord?
He went blind. He's not being able to work his Sonic. Things.
Maybe that's just in the simulation.
Yeah, maybe it's something wrong.
This could all be part of the simulation
because maybe that was the clue that it's a simulation. Is that his Sonic did not open that.
Yeah,
but he's still a Time Lord. There's no question.
Okay.
We never saw them strip that from him. He is doing things like a Time Lord. He is definitely a Time Lord.
Okay. I was just had a theory there. I didn't know.
Well, and
it's always
go
good
back to last episode.
That.
When they were doing the execution of Missy, they said it had to be somebody from that species. He was the one they called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, unless something really weird happened that we have no clue about, and they're going to just pop up on us, he's a Time Lord.
Okay.
But we didn't get any Missy here.
Mm-mm.
I know,
so
I was thinking that.
They left all that alone. I wonder if this doctor, okay, follow me on this, who we saw here, we saw him do the thing where he did the glasses and he left the extremis
email.
Thing. Yeah. What if this is the simulation doctor and the non-simulation doctor is still standing in front of the thing where Missy is?
Yeah, could be.
Because we never saw him, the last episode, he was standing in front of the thing.
Nope.
We didn't see that at all here.
Okay, I know it's not that. It's a really good theory, but it was because in the last episode, as soon as he heard that, he called Bill and he's like, okay, call up Penny right now. And she's like, what? She's out of my league. And he's like, no, she isn't. Call her, ask her on a date. And so so he did that, and then we saw her with Penny on her first date again. For the first time, talking about what happened in the simulation.
And saying, I had this dream.
But once again, why wouldn't that be the simulation?
It could be very meta.
It could be
a simulation in a simulation.
Call her up and get this date in the simulation. You can get this date. Do it. This is like a nice trial run for you.
That one was funny. And then when the secretary
general
of
the UN.
Oh my gosh! And then she's like,
and the last time the Pope showed up, and then the secretary of the UN walks in,
and she goes, and the Penny says, I'm going to get an Uber.
Yeah, is it okay if I get an Uber?
Yeah. She was just over it. Like, she was not having any of that drama.
Yeah. I mean, I like her. I hope that they play with that a little bit more.
I really like her.
She might just be a plot device. They might just use that
just
here.
For fun.
I thought it was pretty funny, and I'd like to see Bill have somebody who's on the outside like that, but maybe not. Because usually what's happened the last few times is they've had the person on the outside, and Mickey ends up in the TARDIS, or Rory ends up in the TARDIS, or Rory's dad ends up in the TARDIS. Maybe that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
That would be interesting if she had wanted nothing to do with it. Like Danny.
Danny wanted nothing to do with it, and then he ended up a Cyberman.
I love Danny.
Oh. Let's take a moment of silence for Danny and Clara.
Okay, that was a moment.
Yeah, that was a moment. Oh, I miss them.
What
I
if
love
Danny, if what I said last week makes sense about the simulation being tied back to that storyline, we could very well see Danny show back up. We won't see Clara show back up, but we could see Danny.
Maybe from the moment they tried to unravel the Gallifreyan tech is when she started the simulation.
Right.
So...
Right. That could be it.
So what if Clara's still alive?
Well, Clara is alive, but she's at a moment in time.
Oh, I forgot that.
Remember?
But what if she's...
He sent her off in her own TARDIS in her own moment in time. So as soon as she stops traveling, she dies. but she can travel forever in that moment with her companion.
Yeah, with Lady Me.
Right.
As long as she doesn't go to Gallifrey.
Right. And wasn't it a diner? Was she floating in a diner?
Because the thing, they're like, oh, we've got the chameleon circuit, we're doing each thing. And the thing, they're like, oh, finally, we can actually use it. And then it broke again, and it stayed as a diner. Like,
That's
a flying
awesome.
diner.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Ooh, I bet they have good coffee. I'd go through that.
But it isn't a diner on the inside.
I would like it to be a diner on the inside.
Well, then you should just get a diner.
I would have all their bacon.
Dad, you should...
you'd have their
and
coffee?
eggs.
Coffee, bacon, and eggs. I would
Hash
be in
browns.
heaven. Oh, my God.
Pancakes.
But do we have to cook it?
No, you build a Nordal.
We built...
What if you don't have the parts?
The parts are there.
In the diner?
We've got Molly.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, make her cook for us?
Yeah, make
well,
her
we
cook.
do now.
I thought
We do already.
Yeah, I thought you meant you were going to, like, tear me apart and use me for parts to build Nardal.
Oh, there's an idea.
That's rude.
It's easier to just make you cook, right?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to just make me cook. I would much prefer that.
Yeah, so we could go off and fight Zygons and she could cook for us.
I'm not fighting it.
I'm fighting a Zygon.
I would do the whole scene from WALL-E, and I just sit in the lazy boy chair until I die.
Okay, well,
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day.
that's really something to aspire to. That's awesome.
While you guys feed me hash browns and bacon and
That sounds great.
until I die.
Oh,
That sounds
That's
great.
a good way to go.
No,
Yeah.
it isn't.
I don't want to fight
It's
things
a
that are going to
terrible
kill
way
me.
to go.
Okay, your choice is fight things that are going to kill me. I could eat stuff and hang out and just chill and not do anything, and I could live a long time.
I would not be fighting things. I would be charming them.
No, you said you were going to fight Zygons.
You said we were going to fight
No,
Zygons.
you're going to fight Zygons.
I am
gonna
not. I'm
charm
going to be
them.
in my big old lazy
I
boy.
accept our overlords, the Zygons.
I don't, and I'm going to kill them all, because I got magic.
No, you're going to be cooking.
There's no magic on Doctor Who.
I am magic,
Oh my
though.
gosh, you guys hurt my
Okay,
head.
so what else happened in this episode? Did we didn't really hit everything. The creatures made them commit, or whatever it was, consent.
Consent.
Bill at the end consented because she loves the Doctor, not in a romantic way, but like she loves him
yeah.
as a
I really
friend.
think that he's like her dad in this.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah,
much.
Yeah.
Well, she called him her grandpa.
But I don't think he's old enough to be her grandpa.
No, but I mean to other people, she said. So maybe she's thinking of him. Why wouldn't he be old enough to be her grandpa?
Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah,
oh.
Sure, why not?
I thought he was like old enough to be a dad. I'm confused.
No, yes, you are.
He could be either one.
So, okay, so we had that. We had the Doctor adamantly trying to stop her from doing this, and she still did it. He got his sight back.
You had the monks when all the three generals from
we didn't talk about
China,
what they did.
China, Russia, and the United States, and they went up and they said, and the monks said, "You don't have
You consent with strategy, not with love.
Then
You must consent with love," and they killed him.
That was so
They turned
cool
like ducks.
when they put those creepy fingers on them, and then they disintegrated them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love.
And Bill was standing there like, "Oh boy, I wasn't with them."
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and they're like, "You
I'm not one.
represent the Doctor," and she's like, "No,
They did it to that first guy, and that was crazy. And then the three went up, and they did it to them. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that
I
was pretty
loved
cool.
how they called him the President of the Earth.
Yes, that
Yes.
was great. They've done that before. And they also said that
And it didn't go to his head at all.
when
No.
He was very, very humble
But
about
when
that
he
whole
was
thing.
when he was asking them to do the Google search for
Mhm.
the facilities that were on the watch list, he said it's the unit watch list.
Mm-hmm.
So it was unit that was doing that.
Yeah.
Once they hacked that, that's when they could really get in there and figure it out. I can't really think of anything else.
I can't either.
I think we covered it all, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
This was a packed episode.
I am dying to see the next episode.
Yeah, I need to see how they're gonna tie these two together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
wrap this up.
Yeah. I wonder which of these ideas is going to be right.
I think the simulation idea would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and if it ties back to Missy's simulation, that would be crazy.
Oh,
Okay.
I love that.
So social media, follow us on Twitter at cuckoo4who. Follow us on Facebook, just look up Cuckoo for Who. Go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and you can find us in the TV section there. And let's see, you can send us an email at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. And with the new season starting, I'm going to add a wrinkle to this. On the web page for Cuckoo for Who, in the upper right-hand corner, will be a voicemail. That if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can. And if it works for us, we will actually play it on the show and interact that way. So something kind of fun and different we'll do. That'll be on the website where that is. We have a Patreon page for Southgate Media Group. If you want to support this show and support the network, please go to Patreon and look up Southgate Media Group. And even $1 a month makes a huge difference. $100 a month makes a huge difference. Massive, yes. And let's see, what else? I think that's it for now. Oh, you can buy a Cuckoo for Who t-shirt. We have that on in the show notes. I'll put it, and I also have one that we made specifically about the new doctor. And the restaurant at the end of the universe. We have that, the exploding restaurant.
Oh, yes.
So that's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. Any final thoughts from anyone?
No.
Nope.
I just can't wait for the next one.
All right. Then let's end it. Until next time.
Elonze.